Our next segment is absolute garbage. Last year, the New York City Department of Sanitation launched a competition called Better Bin, putting out an open call for designers to rethink the iconic green metal trash cans that grace New York City street corners. 3 finalists were chosen, and one of those teams joins us today to talk trash. We want to welcome 2 designers who can honestly say, been down so long it looks like up to us. From Group Project, Colin Kelly, welcome to 112 BK. And Brit Kleinman, thanks so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
So tell us about the impetus for the competition. Why do we need to redesign the existing trash bins? Brit?
Well, New York City, the green trash bins have actually been around since the 1930s. So it's been a long time since there's been a refresh to these bins. And, you know, if anyone's been walking around New York City streets, I think all of us could point out some initial things that are immediately wrong. You know, they get overflowed really easily. They get banged up really easily and don't look super great on the street side. And one of the big things is they're super, super heavy. So for sanitation workers, it's actually a huge request to be able to have them service almost 300 bins in one work shift. And each bin currently weighs about 30 pounds. So it's a lot of weight to do 300 bins of 30 pounds. That's just empty. So when you put trash in it, it can weigh up to 60 pounds full of trash. And so you can just imagine kind of the stress that puts on the sanitation workers.
So, Colin, some of the things that you had to solve for were the weightiness, as Brit was saying. What were some of the other challenges or guidelines?
Yeah, so we had to, it needs to be usable by a sanitation worker. So there's a lot of kind of ergonomic considerations I think we had to think of. How you pick it up and move it around.
There was something about like the size of the holes as well, right?
Yeah, so there's a big rat problem with the current cans now.
There is a problem.
There's some restrictions and some thought we put into about like perforation and hole size so that, water can easily drain out, liquids can drain out, but rats can't get in.
Got it. And also I know that there's some like safety and terrorism concerns as well, that you need to be able to like see what's inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So there's some requirements that, when there's a big event, New Year's Eve or something like that in Times Square, they can easily be moved by NYPD and Department of Sanitation. So there's no threat of any misuse.
So Jessica Lax from the Van Allen Institute, which is one of the co-sponsors of this competition, she said these 3 teams rose to the top because they understand how the litter baskets are used. And she's referring to the 3 finalist teams, of which you are one of them. Would you say that you understand how litter baskets are used? And was there a process that you had to go through, like a design research process to really figure out how people use trash cans?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we did a lot of upfront research when this project started. I mean, I think we're all 4 of us as part of the team are designers that really always start with looking at user interface. And so, I mean, we got some security cam footage from a local business hardware store that we actually could just watch people using the trash can.
Wow, exciting Friday night viewing.
Yeah, it was really great. And, a couple big things we really noticed. We also watched sanitation workers actually use the trash cans. So we followed some around, took video, took pictures, and kind of casually watched that. But from the security
did you get any questions from the sanitation workers? Like, who are you guys? Why are you taping me?
It was more stealth than that.
Yeah, there was. So we
were in disguise.
We did some sessions that were like more guerrilla, I guess I'd call it, where we're, just observing from the street from afar, both sanitation workers and just pedestrians interacting with it, looking through their decision-making process to like, what happens when this thing's overfilling? Like, how do I deal with this? Where do I put it? Also just like looking at what trash goes in it, and if some bins are recycling, some are refuse, like, why are things being misused and put in the wrong place, basically. Brit mentioned the security cam footage. That was really helpful because it was basically like we had a hardware store owner in Brooklyn who gave us 3 days worth of footage, and we were able to really see how, we call them, our term for it is called foragers, but basically they're folks that kind of go through the recycling bins and pick up the bottles to return. themselves, and we kind of saw how they dig into the cans and pull out the liners and use them in a certain way. So we put a lot of thought into the design of ours that allowed people to easily kind of get inside and take recyclables out, forage through it.
Yeah, I think one of the big things we really saw and noticed a lot was just trash cans completely disassembled on the street. We'll call them fancier trash cans other than the green mesh ones. Often are not put back correctly, either from, sometimes sanitation workers or people who are digging through the trash. If there's a door they have to hinge open, they won't put back a certain element, and basically ends up trash just sort of everywhere. So all those elements really informed our final design.
I love that you're thinking about this almost as if you're an alien coming from another planet and you're like, I have an empty coffee cup in my hand. What do I do with it? Where do I put it? How do I learn what a trash can is? I'm curious, you guys are both designers. Well, tell me a little bit about your backgrounds.
So we actually both studied industrial design. I sort of ended up working a lot with textiles and soft good products. And I mean, Colin kind of went a more, I'd say, traditional industrial design route through your career. But we have an architect on the team as well and an engineer.
So tell me a little bit about your trash can design, which is currently being prototyped.
Yep. So I think our concept, and it differentiates us from the others, our concept really is more of a modular approach, I guess I'd say. It consists of kind of two main parts. There's the plastic basket, which is a basket that's made from recycled plastics and could easily be ground down and recycled itself. And then there's what we call the stand, which is made up of a few different metal components. And the reason why we zoned in early on these two parts is we really thought that the thing that should be going between the street corner and the truck should be something really durable, really light. And that's why we kind of zeroed in on a plastic-based material. And then the thing that stays on the street corner, this metal component, is beautiful. It's going to maintain its shape, and it's going to protect the bin, while it's on the corner, and won't let it blow over with wind, or it would prevent theft and things like that. So
it's a detachable sort of like two-part design.
Exactly.
And I think the stand really gives the trash can purpose on the sidewalk, and it gives it a home, we always talk about. So you have this sort of visual marker that is consistent across the whole city, and it really has a sort of place on that sidewalk corner. Okay. And it also gives a place for the sanitation worker to know where they're putting this plastic part that's moving back and forth between the truck. It always goes back to the same location, which is really nice.
One last thing is it's purposely designed for scale. There's like many different types of waste streams, organics. Currently it's a single stream recycling, but if that was ever to kind of become more specific, and maybe even e-waste down the line, who knows? But our bin can kind of grow to kind of these different scaling situations in the future.
Interesting. So there's the Zero Waste 2030 plan, and your design could potentially be adapted to also be used for compost or recycling or things like that. Is that right? Cool. I want to play a little game with you guys, a little trash game.
Cool.
So these trash cans are so iconic and actually form the backbone of many unusual New York City anecdotes. So quick quiz. In 2014, New York police officers dumped their latex gloves in a city trash can after visiting the home of a doctor who was infected with what?
A doctor infected with
Is Ebola?
It's Ebola. Yes. Yes.
That's, so New York.
That's not a good use.
Not a good use
of a public trash can.
No.
I would say.
I don't think ours is going to be able to do much.
Yeah, I don't think that's up to you to solve for the problem of
part of the
waste,
RFP,
properly disposed bio waste. Okay, here's another one. The daughter of what New York City celebrity, known for his Trump trash talk, threw a tantrum when her mother wouldn't allow her to climb into a Union Square garbage can?
No idea.
That is Alec Baldwin's child.
Wow.
Yes, apparently she threw a 40-minute tantrum when she wasn't allowed to play in the trash can.
All right. It's probably better off.
That's right. Listen to your mother. Okay, this is the last one. According to the Daily Mail, a pedestrian once used a trash can to fend off an enraged commuter wielding a what?
I don't know.
A subway card?
I know.
This is a machete.
I was
my
like
gosh.
some
It's
sort
a
of
machete.
sword.
Yes. And now knowing what I know about the trash cans, about how heavy they are, this makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess
It's like a giant cage.
Did you think about that when you were designing
machete
yours?
proof, you know? I mean, I'd say ours
It
could
could
be
be.
machete
Okay.
proof.
So walk me through what happens next in the competition. So you're currently prototyping, and then what happens?
So we're working on what each group is working on are 12 full-scale works like and looks like prototypes that will actually live on New York City streets this summer. And then they're going to be used as if they're normal trash cans. So they're going to be emptied 3 times a day and they've already told us, put in very high traffic use areas.
Do you know where exactly?
Nope, that's going to be a surprise for everyone.
Okay.
And the public gets to interact with them as if they're normal trash cans. And there's a panel of judges. And then the sanitation workers have a say as well for the final competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they're the people who have to deal with them most. So
Yes.
hopefully their say is weighted.
Yes.
So people can stay tuned to find out where to see one of your trash cans or the trash cans of the other 2 finalists, and then go figure out if they can throw away trash.
And there's going to be a way, like a way for the public to give feedback as well. We don't exactly know how that's going to happen,
Yeah.
but there's going to be some type of polling process
Okay.
where the New York City, New Yorkers can give feedback. We'll get feedback from sanitation workers, obviously. So everybody's going to have a say.
And do we know when the winner is announced, and then when the 30,000 existing trash cans will be replaced with the new design?
We haven't been told exactly when the winner is going to be announced, but sometime after the summer.
Late summer, yeah.
Late summer.
All right. Very cool. So, tell me, I guess, the name of your team name, and how people can see your trash can design.
So our team and company is Group Project, and we have an Instagram account at Group Project.
There's an
No,
underscore in there,
there's an
I think so.
underscore.
Underscore group.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's Instagram's hard
You
to
know.
find the right name. So underscore
find
group
us.
project.
Great. Brit, Colin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.